VOA News. I'm David Byrd. The coronavirus outbreak continued to strike more countries Friday, including the first cases in Mexico and Nigeria. We get more from AP correspondent Sagar Meghani.
The World Health Organization has boosted its risk assessment of the virus spreading worldwide
to very high at global level,
with the number of nations hit nearing 6.
The first case of coronavirus disease confirmed in Nigeria.
It's now reached sub-Saharan Africa. Mexico, New Zealand, and Iceland are among other nations reporting their first cases, some appearing with no obvious source. With governments scrambling to contain the virus, the health crisis is turning into an economic one, with travel warnings, factory shutdowns, and event cancellations.
The Geneva International Motor Show n'aura pas lieu,
including one of the car industry's showcase events. Sagar Meghani, Washington.
Stock markets around the world continued their downward trend Friday on spreading fears over the economic impact of the coronavirus. AP's Mike Gracia has details.
The worst week on Wall Street since October 2008 ended with more declines for the Dow Jones Industrial Average and the S&P 500. The Dow gave up another 357 points, or 1.4%, to close at 25,409. In 1 week, the Dow lost 3,583 points. It was part of a global sell-off sparked by worries about coronavirus. White House economic advisor Larry Kudlow tried again to calm jittery investors.
People should not overreact.
In the final 15 minutes of trading, there was a rally of sorts after the Federal Reserve said it stands ready to help the economy if needed. I'm Mike Gracia.
For more on these stories, be sure to visit voanews.com. You can also follow us on the VOA mobile app. This is VOA News. U.S. Secretary of State Mike Pompeo says the United States is considering ways to assist NATO ally Turkey after 33 Turkish soldiers were killed in a Syrian air raid in northwestern Syria. As Edward Uranian reports, the statement comes as tensions ratcheted up between Ankara, Damascus, and Moscow.
NATO's Secretary General Jens Stoltenberg offered the group's condolences to member state Turkey in a press conference Friday after an urgent meeting requested by Ankara following the deaths of 33 Turkish soldiers in Idlib. Stoltenberg stopped short, however, of offering any NATO military support to Ankara. Russia claims that Turkish forces were working alongside terrorist groups in rebel-controlled Idlib province when they were hit by a Syrian government airstrike. Turkey denies the claim. The Russian Foreign Ministry repeated Friday that terrorist groups will not be tolerated in Idlib. Edward Uranian for VOA News, Cairo.
President Donald Trump says Secretary of State Mike Pompeo will be on hand to see an agreement signed with the Taliban, who are responsible for the deaths of thousands of American troops in Afghanistan. The signing comes after a week where U.S.-led forces and the Taliban committed to a reduction in violence. The deal calls for the U.S. to draw down from 13,000 troops in Afghanistan to about 8,600. In Brussels, NATO Secretary General Jens Stoltenberg called the signing a positive first step.
This will be only the first, but very important first step towards a lasting peace agreement in Afghanistan.
Stoltenberg said the only permanent solution to the Afghan situation is an intra-Afghan peace process. Astronomers have discovered the biggest explosion ever seen in the universe. AP's Ben Thomas explains.
Astronomers using NASA's Chandra X-ray Observatory say the blast likely came from a massive black hole in a cluster of galaxies some 390 million light-years away. In a report in the Astrophysical Journal, researchers say the explosion was so large it carved out a crater in the hot gas that could hold 15 Milky Ways. That's 5 times greater than anything previously recorded. I'm Ben Thomas.
And opera star Placido Domingo has modified his apology. Oscar Wells Gabriel reports.
On Tuesday, Placido Domingo issued a statement saying he was taking full responsibility for his actions toward women. Now he's quibbling about what those actions were. In a Facebook post, Domingo says his apology left a false impression that now he wants to clarify. He is now, again, denying some of the main claims in an opera union's report that he sexually harassed women, including groping them and forcing kisses on them. Already, Spain's culture ministry has canceled 2 of his shows.
That's Oscar Wells Gabriel. And I'm David Byrd, VOA News.